Moorish science, because science is a reference to knowledge, means knowledge through the eyes of the Moors, or from a Moorish perspective. What that means then, it's requiring us to find out what that is, right? It's then begging the question, what is this?
Melanin rising, Kundalini climbing, up my Jacob's ladder, break my ego down to matter, cause it really doesn't matter on a solar plane, high in my domain, but it's more like my state. Go! Reppin' the holy prophet, but don't forget CMB, Zodiac Constitution, that's in my DNA, Canaanland by bloodline, that's in my DNA, 5-point star with the red flag, on the green like the PGAs, no, 14th Amendment citizen, nationality is imminent, the man with his third eye open is the king land of the blind land, before time landed, define campus, divine universal mind, beyond universal time, this long lineage of mine, define universal time, I'm metaphysically inclined, try squaring up your conduct, the circle law you decide, if Spain was really Andalusia, how did we invade Spain? They invaded Andalusia, now everybody call it Spain, that's de facto standards, replace that title with the surname, but that ain't your name, cause that's from England, this is Merlin, when we was ruling all the waters, making pirate moves, who had it longer from 700 to 1492 than us. Melanin rising, Kundalini climbing, up my Jacob's ladder, break my ego down to matter, cause it really doesn't matter on a solar plane, high in my domain, but it's more like my state. Go! Asia, major, rapping tales from Asia, major, Mexico and back, Asia, major, call it turning tide, Asia, major, this is certified.
Major, I am the league, hard to crown, ball my base. When I'm playing, standing in your face, fez a turban on you, say Moors are gone, niggas tripping. Won't unify for a nation but booze and fried chicken. Astrology is Satanism, but every year you candle blow. Shooting targets, not moving highwaymen you can't handle though. Always debating Moors, but won't debate Khalid or Dr. Ben. Today you diss my prophet, tomorrow you're begging friends to get vaccine exemption forms for COVID or Corona, falling for orchidokes, adrenochromis for melanin donors, unconscious of powers. Read Richard King and Bruce Bynum. Are people lost in the sauce, stay stirring and can't find them, even with a strainer, or using my hands in a container. Choosing higher over lower self should be a no-brainer. Claiming to know thyself, to know man's value. You can't be passive or stagnant, you must earth or celestial travel.
Melanin rising, Kundalini climbing, up my Jacob's ladder, break my ego down to matter, cause it really doesn't matter on a solar plane, high in my domain, but it's more like my state. Go! Asia, major, rapping tales from Asia, major, Mexico and back, Asia, major, call it turning tide, Asia, major, this is certified.
What is this Moorish nationality? In the context of Noble Drew Ali, Timothy Noble Drew Ali was to be, as he stated, a divine and national movement.
Look, if you want to read it, read Stanley Lane Poe's The Moors in Spain, written in 1887, or Alejandro Mataziza. Read his book in Spanish, The Moors in Spain, and said that even the bass was introduced by those Africans.
You do goddamn motion picture.
They got me looking for the artifacts till my heart collapse. I be running through the scene like I'm on a lap. The way we left them on the scene put us on the map. So I be all up on the scene looking hard for all the stolen Moorish artifacts, huh? Like I'm Artemis. See, I be running through the scene like I'm on a mission. The way they left about the scene made it hard to miss them. See, I be all up on the scene looking for my shit like red flags and green sashes. We assassins. Triple gold, my fist high like I'm Selassie. Physical, your men die, we everlasting. In the cold like Northgate, winter, Alaska. Killing the pastor, breaking it down my mind like a disaster. Ass whipping the bastard. If you don't represent the service team bloodline, more by bloodline, welcome to the front line. Baby, I want tough mind. I'm so impatient, I'm cutting up in the lunch line. I call it crunch time. They tryna punk some, but I ain't noble time. I'm Noble Draw Ali. I'm working overtime. Hidden treaty, 1787 times 7-11. Higher than 7 heavens. Steady, no guessing. Better stomach the lesson. Who be trapped in the house? I'm home alone like Kevin. So step in. I'm here to make my case with law and rest it. I shouldn't taught a block, no heads, necklace. I keep a peppermint on the top of the dresser. Working 7 days a year, looking for the solar Moorish artifacts, huh? Like I'm Artemis. See, I be running through the scene like I'm on a mission. The way they left about the scene made it hard to miss them. See, I be all up on the scene looking for my shit like.
Doctrine of discovery from a grey balaksa. Always challenge jurisdiction of your captors. Stand on your square, no apron or protractors. Will manifest hep chef, something not Cleopatra. Man is man tantra, know that self mantra. Get out the lower self and vibrate your chakras. Walking on the higher road, my staff on my levels up Allah. If my God protected more with the sevens up. 4 quadrant halos, celestial pharaohs. Expose those Socrates and Plato's. Chopped down my cherry tree and still couldn't bury me. In their secret lodges, they pretend to be me. Indiana Jones, national treasures, angels and demons and one world agendas. Razor blade smiles, alien, reptilian, running corporate governments with ward civilians. Invisible wars, police state has risen, uplifting fallen from their mental prisons. 5-point star drawn, vortex and wormholes leads to behind the backs of turncoats.
Stolen Moorish artifacts, huh? Like I'm Artemis. See, I be running through the scene like I'm on a mission. The way they left about the scene made it hard to miss them. See, I be all up on the scene looking for my shit like.
But remember, when there came a time in 1506, Africans ruled Spain from 711. We were calling ourselves Moors, M-A-U-E-R-S, then M-O-O-R-S, from 711 until 1485.
So they studied the actual cities and they monitor these particular things. Fortunately, the last 4 or 5 years, black people have gone to a certain savage level, and that's good. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. When the Arabs was going across Africa, and right after Muhammad, they went across Africa, and if you didn't submit to Islam, they cut your head off and you died.
First time I saw the prophets pick like, whoa. No one ever told I feel sick like, bro. Stomach all churning what I'm learning like, no. Also have my own flag not burning like, no. Fez a turban on other nations like, whoa. What's wrong with your people's minds like, whoa. Wanna take pics and talk for hours like, yo. Never felt this reppin' black power like, whoa. Never felt this reppin' chematology. Most of your black leaders teach tricknology. Egypt is North Africa. So is Morocco, in the farthest west. Mecca is Chicago, Mississippi, Nile River, Grand Canyon, Pharaoh. I'm Moroccan native, they call the mother spaceship. Disrespect Malik L, call him slave named Malcolm. Speak truth, watch blacks have a tantrum. Masked up like phantoms, age of corona. Catch the Heineken virus, not improper persona. Fall victim to lymphoma, pineal melanoma. Like whoa, when I read the Treaty of Verona. Whoa, when I read the Protocols of Zion. With goosebumps drinking roots of the dandelions, berries of the elders, grass of the lemons. Like whoa, how my people ride with these snitch felons.
People lost, start telling like, whoa. Me felon. Oh no. Twin towers explode like 9/11. Times 7 like melting down the church bells to fill a weapon too sick like Catholic priests playing with leeches. My wolf pack tear 'em apart, breaking the leashes. Bad night, bad mission, sad vision, past living, cash missing. I done seen it all before like fast life. Alhamdulillah, Stephallah, cash life. Feds getting involved, switching on flashlights. Allah, we appear like voila. Shematar, make 'em calm down, Goose Rabba. CNN show the host on the repeat. Corona is over, now George on the repeat. Like how would you survive? Everybody crash Jesus. Take the wheel, it's gonna be another rapture. Go to crisiscast.com. Right now, you'll see that we in the matrix. Right now, George Soros handing out paychecks. Right now, niggas mad cause they ain't get paid yet. Pipe down, I mean poke down. Pause all the savages. They only active to react to what is happening. What's happening? City ordinance, man's rights subjugate the womb, human trafficking.
Islam. GS is about to be crazy. Mufti's going wild.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common sense, quick.
Legendary, bury me in the North Gate Cemetery, February the 4th date, Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil literal lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. Or keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets threw me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm sorbet, prepping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J. Israel. Hand over to I lay in plain sight, but people still can't see it. So the snake's still showing up, stakes still high, so the rate's still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death to be slavery. Looking for light, the book of Genesis. Astroplane interests, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life, finish him.
Moorish American, key man or oracle, using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical, lost in metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic, fact slap a dirty more or a Drew Ali critic, calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved, or cut like a close shave, drowned in my brainwaves, squashed by heat waves, activating Kundalini, Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini, Selassie I in exile, reptile in Genesis, niggas appearing real, all I see is false evidence, they are feminists, torn by elephants, won't like go prejudice but want Moorish benefits, when you feel the pro-magnetic resonance, apis horns of the sacred book called Maleficent, great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence, ace all the testaments, tap into remembrance, never to forget again, use energy right, not put spell effects on men, wandering the earth plane with no they live shades, keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades, it's been decades since Christian crusades, not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets, holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday, war ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense and Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
In the water, floating, and on the seawall. They've been sitting there since last night. We've been pulling people out since last night, trying to save people's lives. And I feel like we're not getting the help we need. This is a nationwide issue at this point. Yeah, we need help, a lot of help. We gotta get people down here.
Catastrophic and unprecedented wildfires, as Victor said, have killed at least 36 people. That death toll is in Maui, and it soared overnight. Bodies were found in the ruin.
I've been on Maui the last 9 years, and I know the geographical location and how everything works. There was no fucking way that a hurricane missed Big Island, went to Maui, and didn't flood them, didn't give them, crazy other things, but it caused fires. It caused fires, and not only on Maui, but it caused fires in the most precious parts of real estate in Maui. Lahaina Front Street is worth billions. The Hawaiians that have been holding out and the Kanaka have been holding out for years, not wanting to sell their property in Lahaina due to these big $1 million companies. It is not a coincidence, I don't believe. Probably the most precious parts of Maui, Kula, Lahaina,
Still get dead bodies in the water, floating, and on the seawall. They've been sitting there since last night. We've been pulling people out since last night, trying to save people's lives. And I feel like we're not getting the help we need. This is a nationwide issue at this point. Yeah, we need help, a lot of help. We gotta get people down here.
Catastrophic and unprecedented.
I've been in the industry of people losing their homes due to fire, flood, monster emergency services. But I need you guys to hear me out. You don't see what's going on. I feel something is bigger. I've been on Maui the last 9 years, and I know the geographical location and how everything works. There was no fucking way that a hurricane missed Big Island, went to Maui, and didn't flood them, didn't give them, crazy, other things, but it caused fires.
Don't forget, we've been telling you people. We've been telling you. Drew Ali's been telling you since the 1920s. Told all the prophecies, earthquakes, hurricanes, all that stuff's gonna come because you people are playing games. You don't want to be Moors? No problem. No problem. Whether it's by nature or whether it's by some stuff some people created or something like that to make fire come from hurricane, because hurricane is water, just taking the water from the sea and how's the fire? How's the fire coming from a hurricane? But then, boys could be girls and all that stuff. So, everything goes at this point. Hurricanes could make fire right now. And not just make fire, but, somebody got the joystick and then they're moving the cloud and only certain places are getting hit or whatever. This is the same stuff people were telling us back when we were telling people about Behold the Pale Horse and all that stuff. They tell we're conspiracy theorists and all this. Isn't it all the same stuff going on right now? All the stuff that Phil Valentine was telling us and all that stuff about, oh yeah, they're gonna make your children be ruled by animals. Your children are gonna be dealing with people. All they're going to be dealing with animals. Where we at right now? People are saying they're animals right now. A guy is identifying as a sheep. And in the bushes with the sheep, and nobody's not kidnapping this man, put him in an insane asylum. A child could say, I feel like sponge today. I'm just going to sit here. I'm not going to do nothing because I'm a sponge. And they're going to let them do it. So because you let that pass, well, don't worry. Hurricanes have fire now. Yep, exactly. You can't make this up. That hurricane's giving fire. Don't realize what's going on? And it's not, it's not some revelations. And our people still don't want to see what's up. They're still playing dumb. But it's okay, no problem. Whatever is going to continue until the people who are the children of God and all that stuff realize that they're not Negro, black, colored, and they're the reason for all this madness going on the planet right now. And they don't want to take responsibility. They want to blame some fictitious in the closet BS. A hurricane made fire and burned Hawaii down. Do you not know that this is Sarah Connor and all that stuff right now? You missing it? Islam, brothers.
Islam, going ahead.
I got on the bike for a second. I was at like 200.
Yeah. We watching, Islam, man. It's crazy times. Crazy times, man. Crazy times. Like I said yesterday on the conclusion of our YouTube, we are at a point in time that is very tumultuous. We have the weirdest of things occurring.
Yeah.
But remember, a wise man told us a while ago, there's no such thing as coincidences. Now, I didn't get an opportunity yet to edit my next post on Instagram to follow up on what I just posted earlier today in regards to Lahaina and aloha to my brothers in the Kingdom of Hawaii. But
Islam.
Yeah, I know you know because I personally sent you the latest update from 3 weeks ago from the Kingdom of Hawaii and Dr. Keanu Sai's presentation, right? So his presentation now, if you remember from 3 years ago when I first got on it and they first publicized, they had a little YouTube channel with barely 30 subscribers.
Yeah.
And he was going to multiple different quote unquote corporate jurisdictions, what they would call city council meetings, and presenting his evidence from his doctoral thesis showing that the Kingdom of Hawaii was usurped illegally. The Queen was overthrown illegally. Okay. And the proof of it. Now, with that being said, that was 3 years ago. 3 weeks ago, they posted an update, okay, of a presentation, Dr. Keanu Sai and folks, with some counterparts from around the globe. These are European international law scholars / what we would call experts, agreeing with the body of his doctoral thesis, which he also presented at the International Court at The Hague back in 2001, and was found correct, waiting for a response from the United States of America Corporation, which refused to respond. But it doesn't change the fact that what was done was literally an insurgent operation by the quote-unquote business folks, specifically spearheaded by I won't use the term gentleman, but I'll use the term man, by the appellation of Samuel Doe. For those folks that actually go to a supermarket and you see Dole Farms and the canned pineapples and canned fruits, yeah, that Sam Dole was not some hero, this, that, and the third for helping rescue Hawaii from the tyrannical reign of the Queen. No, he, by the sitting president of the time, was found to be an insurgent. Now, but his actions and the actions of the three others, plus this one naval warship that was docked off of Pearl Harbor that went and took the sovereignty of the Queen at threat of laying waste to the island, the sitting president, at the request of the Queen, reviewed the facts. Now, mind you, he wasn't the president at the time that the action happened. This happened before his term started. But he came in after the fact, picked up the request from the Queen, went through it, and said, yep, oh shit, this is an act of insurgency, which amounts to treason. We all know that the penalty for treason is only one thing, that is death. So his response back to the monarchy was simple. He said, look, let's get you reinstated, but only on the condition that you agree to grant clemency to or amnesty to those that are still residing there that were part of the insurgency. Now, who are the insurgents? It's not just the three business howlies, is the term from the island, the three foreigners that instantiated it. It's also all the natives that went along and pledged allegiance to this insurgent occupying force or this occupying government. So that meant everybody who said whatever and didn't go, nope, I'll just lose my job, I'll just lose my whatever, because you are not the true power. You are a foreign invading party. Those folks as well are insurgents and could be, at that time, if they acted upon it, charged with treason, death. Now, the order to Congress did not get passed at the time because there were folks in Congress that were down with the usurpation that blocked the bill, okay? But it doesn't change the fact of the evidence that they have today and is internationally recognized. That being said, I don't get off of my particular soapbox on that point the way some others like to. Why? Because if you continue on in the video of Dr. Keanu Sai's latest update, where he's showing that the Kingdom of Hawaii had multiple treaties with multiple nations around the globe. At the time, there was 144, okay? Of those 144, there was like 80 that had treaty with the kingdom. He also makes a demonstration of the different treaties that specifically recognize the Kingdom of Hawaii. One of them, you ready for this, is the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo. Now, to some Moors who are listening to this right now, that may sound familiar. Most of y'all, if you're on IG and you ever watch a few of my reels that starts off with some so-called Mexican whatever, you'll see at the end, I throw up the prophet, and then I throw up the excerpt from that specific treaty that specifically states where the Occidental territory supposedly stops and the Mexico supposedly starts. And more importantly, that treaty clearly identifies that the so-called Mexican territory is property of the Moors and their Indian associates. From where? From the Bravo and Nunce rivers, which today does not exist. Those two rivers were merged. Today, you call that river the Rio Grande. If that doesn't make you stop in your tracks right now, you need to start studying. You really seriously need to start studying, because what I just told you is Texas, California, New Mexico, all that. Literally, from 1853 is Moorish land. We already know that the entire continent is Moorish continent. But I'm showing you the actual treaty you can go to refer whether you consider yourself so-called black or so-called brown or any other damn crayon color in the box. Doesn't change the fact that your indoctrination of thinking people are crayons means nothing, because we're all Moors. Islam.
Islam, Moor. Give thanks for that. Give thanks for that. That truth bomb right there. Give thanks for that.
Well, give thanks for you
It
and the
costs
platform for
fires,
coming up and putting it
and
up.
not only.
Sorry, go ahead again, Mark.
No, so give thanks for you for putting up the information and taking the time to do this live.
Islam. It's Allah's will. Allah's will must be done.
Islam.
Islam, Mark.
On Maui, but it caused fires in the most precious parts of real estate in Maui. Lahaina Front Street is worth billions. The Hawaiians that have been holding out and the Kanaka have been holding out for years, not wanting to sell their property in Lahaina due to these big million-dollar companies. It is not a coincidence, I don't believe, how in the most precious parts of Maui, Kula, Lahaina, and Kihei, that the locals that are standing strong and do not want to give up Oprah Winfrey's fucking view up in Kula that the Hawaiians are holding out on, that the fire was going to, the Hawaiians and the Kanaka that was holding right there on Front Street. I've been in the industry of people losing their homes due to fire, flood, monster, emergency services. But I need you guys to hear me out. You don't see what's going on. I feel something is bigger. I've been on Maui the last 9 years, and I know the geographical location and how everything works. There was no fucking way that a hurricane missed Big Island, went to Maui, and didn't flood them, didn't give them, crazy other things, but it caused fires. It caused fires, and not only on Maui, but it caused fires in the most precious parts of real estate in Maui. Lahaina Front Street is worth billions. The Hawaiians that have been holding out and the Kanaka have been holding out for years, not wanting to sell their property in Lahaina due to these big million-dollar companies. It is not a coincidence, I don't believe, how in the most precious parts of Maui, Kula, Lahaina, and Kihei, that the locals that are standing strong and do not want to give up Oprah Winfrey's fucking view up in Kula that the Hawaiians are holding out on, that the fire was going to, the Hawaiians and the Kanaka that was holding right there on Front Street.
Off the chain. Off the chain. Study, study, study. Did George Washington chopping down the cherry tree symbolize the denationalization of Moorish Americans? And they got the picture. George standing on the fallen Moorish flag. For all you Moors who insist that George Washington chopping down the cherry trees did not represent the denationalization of us indigenous Moorish Americans, what the hell is the red flag lying on the ground by George Washington's feet? Looks like our flag to me. Tell the children the truth. So let's just check. Let's do a double check just to make sure people standing on flags and stuff. There is an ongoing research being made about Washington's Commander-in-Chief standard flag. It most likely dates back to 1775 because it was Washington's personal flag. It was with him wherever he went, saw the same action as he did. You hear all these frauds now telling you that you need a coat of arms to be a Moor and all this BS. This is who they're following. Their commander-in-chief. All the ones who tell you that you have to walk with your own whatever And not just use what Noble Drew Ali brought, but they got something for you better than what the Prophet brought. Guess where they get that from? From their commander-in-chief, Georgie. And they'll play games with you because they know that people don't study. When you study, you see that Georgie, that the Moors are telling you that, oh, the Moorish flag, he's standing on the Moorish flag. No, he's not. That's personal stuff. That's like you put it on the ground and all that BS. That's nothing to do with Moors. That's nothing to do with Moors. You had a better chance saying Noble Drew Ali copied him, look at the stance or something. Making up crap just to sell your whatever you're trying to sell under the name Moors. And not doing anything for the Moors. Making all this finance just for yourself. Even donate some finance to a temple. Just pick a temple. Donate some finance since you got it like that. No. You sell this and sell that under the name of Moors. And giving people wrong info. Because you get it. You know, the dummy is going to see the picture and not know that that's a shadow right there. You go closer, you'll see that there's more of the flag. That's just the end of it. The Moors, because they want to try to popularize this and make this the ooh-ah stuff. Oh, George Washington standing on the Moorish flag? Oh my God, no, that's his BS flag. He can do whatever he wants with that. That's his personal stuff. So be careful. Be careful. Because your own, Joali told you, your own is going to put you right back in slavery. Your own is going to do that. You don't worry about some European or some Asian or whoever put Punjabis taking over now, so now you're worried about them. Don't worry about them. Worry about your own. Who keeps selling you out. Keep selling you out. Then you're going.
Feeling will cause black people to stick together. And then at that point, you'll have a situation where when you attack one black man, you are attacking all black men. And this type of black thinking will cause all black people to stick together. And this type of thinking also will bring an end to the brutality inflicted upon black people by white people. And it is the only thing that will bring an end to it. No federal court, state court, or city court will bring an end to it. It's something that the black man has to bring an end to himself. Minister.
Oh yeah? Well, you see, we don't do the clean-shaven black guy. We don't do him. We don't do him. So we got taught by the master teachers already. Anybody who calls you black, when these people are of Moorish descent, they're a traitor and a sellout. It's that simple. Because we're not black people. Get the hell out of here. When are you going to stop this madness? Never? All right, fine. Then we keep beating you in the head with it then. So, you know, ride with Malcolm X or whatever like that. Malcolm X. That's a Negro guy. That's a black guy. You'll ride with him. But Malik Shabazz though, who they never mention. How come they never mention Malik Shabazz to you? How come they keep playing this Malcolm X BS all the time? You know, I don't hear you say Cassius Clay and all that. I don't hear you go in there. Why? You knock your ass out. You call him something other than Muhammad Ali. You're gonna call him Muhammad Ali. Oh, but because El Hajj not gonna knock your ass out, you're gonna play little games with him. Okay, all right. We see you. We see you. But we go with the bearded El Hajj. We go with the beard. If you're right with the beard, no more shaving and all that stuff. This is the one that we're riding with.
Well, for the past 10 years, the struggle in America has been confined to what has been projected to the public as a civil rights struggle. And in that context, it has remained a domestic problem. It has remained within the jurisdiction of the United States. And it has...
What are you talking about? Remained in the jurisdiction of the United States. What are you talking about? You tell me you wasn't on it? Stop this foolishness. You're black guys talk like this. What jurisdiction of the United States are you talking about? What do you find out? That these people are hiding from you. That's why they got him out the way. Because he was going to tell everybody. And everybody was going to ride with it because that's Malcolm. Why wouldn't you ride with it? Why wouldn't you go? If Malcolm said, yeah, let's go this way. You're not going? Why wouldn't you go? He knew the power that he had. And then he found out about nationality. Oh, he found out about nationality. Get rid of him. No smart Negroes. Oh, he wasn't Negro though. He was L. L, that's Moorish, right? It was Moorish, right? Was that Bay is Moorish? It's Moorish. That's the Ali is Moorish.
As such, it has been impossible for the Afro-Americans or American Negroes to try and enlist the support of other dark-skinned people who are being oppressed the world over in that struggle. And the difference now, try and enlist the support of other dark-skinned people who are being oppressed.
Yeah, how come? Talk about other dark-skinned people. Maybe other dark-skinned people is implying that he's saying that he's dark, which isn't black. Right? When he's saying dark-skinned people, he just doesn't know which nationality to call. So he categorized them as dark-skinned. But he also relate that they're other. So he's included in that. And all these little things, corrections in the language, that's how you know you start studying more science. Because you're not going to let yourself get past saying calling children kids and all that stuff. You ain't talk about nice. You more say nice. As soon as they more say nice, you know, oh, yeah, they knew, they just came. They just got out the boat. They're late. Forgive them for they know not what they do. Right? You go back and listen to the old stuff, and then go listen to the beard, and then see all the little stuff that changed that you're not going to pick up on that because you're Negro black colored too. Putting you on game. That El Haj knew what was up. Because what are they doing? They're going back to bring this stuff, right? Let's go.
Should other black men help that particular person who was attacked?
I think you'll find, sir, that there will come a time when black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough to think for themselves, as other humans are intellectually independent enough to think for themselves. Then the black man will think like a black man.
The black is supposed to be saying the dark-skinned people. Put it in context so you can realize how come the stuff never happened. Because it's talking about us in a dead status. That's that you don't have no rights. That's why by the time he went to Mecca and came back, that's when he realized. It's all about human rights. It's not about the civil rights. The civil rights isn't going to get us, and the civil rights is the Negro, black, colored, whatever, all the stuff. Civil rights is just a general term. But when you're talking civil rights, you're talking about the non-status people, the stateless people, the people who have to be given privileges because they have no rights. And the only people that fall under that category are the Negro, black, colored, whoever's, and anybody else who is classified in that status, doesn't matter what their skin complexion is. Like the Moorish showed, just do your research on the black people of China. There's some Chinese people who look Chinese, but they classify them as black because they're on the bottom of the social ladder. They got some debt or something like that. Oh yeah, they're black. They get certain treatments because they're black, but they look like a Chinaman. Then there's these people over here that are Chinese, and then there's these ones right here that are black, and nobody wants to be them, and nobody deals with them at all. They only their only engagement is with master. That's it. They don't get to talk to society. Right, this is that BS that people are playing with this folding chair BS. It's a psyop. It's the freaking crate challenge BS over again, just with a folding chair now. Now you guys doing folding chair crap. Right? It's for you that has everything lined up to be able to discern from certain shit. Like, oh damn, they're actually doing the thing. Oh damn, they actually release the fire-making hurricane. And always remember that this is divine before it's all this national whatever. Go to the UN, sue them because they're violating the rights of the whatever. Like, come on, stop it. Stop it. This stuff is rigged. Stop it. Just walk up the sky and knock on the damn sun. Right? You got played. They're in the simulation. Are you in control of your avatar? Or are you floating around like Cypher? Floating around like Cypher, then you're already done for. You're already done for. You're just concerned with the steak and all that stuff. Oh yeah, the steak. We need the Moorish steak so that we could be. Right?
Press the world over in that struggle. And the difference now in the...
He got out the matrix. He got out the simulation of that time. The Juali told them that every knee's gonna bow to Islam, whatever form it is that you know. Everybody who's on a certain frequency, they're gonna be striving for peace. And it's gonna be first peace with themselves, realizing all this madness that's going on in front of your eyes. And coming to a realization as to how it ended up in this place. And the things that you need to do with others who are of like minds to correct it. Which honor to all the Moors who've been putting in their work for us to be where we're at right now. Being able to yell no the Juali from the mountaintops and all that. Honors to you for sticking with it. Because you already know the brainwash that they have on our people. The El Hajj even told them it's about human rights. And if it's about human rights and he's talking about the UN, then he's talking about United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Humans. And if there's a United Nations Declaration of Rights and everybody has a right to a nationality in order to be human, and black isn't a nationality, Negro is not a nationality, color is not a nationality, African whatever is not a nationality, then you don't count as a human being. This is what he found out studying more science. Forget Hajj and Mecca and all that stuff. He was studying the stuff. He wasn't studying some Islam. He was studying law. He was studying jurisprudence. And he realized all the BS that these people lied and told him about us being black people and all that. Lied. And he found out. He's about to snitch on everybody. Because once you know, you can ask any more. Any proclaim more. You ask them, they'll tell you. Once you proclaim that you're a more, a shift happens in the reality. Where now only certain things are in your realm, in your cipher. Only what you want is there.
Direction that the struggle is taking, from the direction that the struggle has been going in the past, there are many of our people who are thinking more deeply and more broadly, and are beginning to see the importance of lifting it out of the national context, or out of the domestic context, or beyond the jurisdiction of the United States government. And the only way this can be done is by internationalizing the problem and putting it at a level where it can be taken into the United Nations. And then all of the other independent nations on this earth can involve themselves in our struggle and support us. And the only way by which this can be done, instead of it being called civil rights in the future, we're going to have to label it a human rights struggle, or the struggle for human rights. And as such, we can then take it into the United Nations through the avenues that have been set up by the United Nations Commission on Human Rights. We can take our problem before the United Nations in the same manner that the problem of South Africa, Angola, Mozambique, Hungary, the Arab refugee problem, it becomes a world problem. And as a world problem, then the Afro-American, or the so-called Negroes, equal results, because it's not left up to the one who's responsible for it anymore, but it's put at a level where the whole can see that our plight is wrong. It stood in our path in the past. It also makes a difference in the leadership. Those who have been posing as leaders of our people in America in the past, they can pose on this local stage where Uncle Sam is the master of the show, and can prop them up and make them look good, or make them look better than they actually are, by giving them token gains and building them up an image. But when they step onto the international stage or the world stage, then Uncle Sam can't prop them up anymore. And their ability or lack of ability becomes exposed. And if they can lead us forward, they remain leaders. But if they can't, then they have to step aside, and more qualified and bona fide leaders step up from the masses of our people, and then we get faster progress. We get more results. The Afro-American or American Negro intellectual perhaps permitted himself to be used in a way that wasn't really beneficial to the overall Afro-American struggle. Permitted himself to be used, American Negro intellectual, perhaps permitted himself to be used in a way that wasn't really beneficial to the overall Afro-American struggle. But I think today these intellectuals have begun to undertake a new appraisal of the problem, looking at it as it actually is, and are beginning to see it more in the international context and the relation that it has with the African struggle. And the African intellectual is beginning to look at the problem in the African context and see that what might be good in one country, in order for it to be used in another country, has to be rearranged. You take African socialism. Many of the African intellectuals that have analyzed the approach of socialism are beginning to see where the African has to use a form of socialism that fits into the African context.
Stop it. The hell you think? Right? Because of some psyop, hunting down stuff, you know what I mean, to show, oh yeah, see, Malcolm X talked about black unity and blacks being together, and look, all the black guys, they got together to beat these Europeans up. Really? That did something. These Europeans still have their private boat while you walked or whatever. You don't realize there's a bigger issue here, but no, our people don't think, because thinking is not what we do. Thinking is not what we do. We're not about thinking. We're about playing games. So I keep telling you, oh yeah, don't forget. Don't forget. Whereas we recognize and celebrate the contributions to cultural diversity, economic growth, and the overall development of our state and nation made by the Moorish American community, therefore be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the 102nd General Assembly of the State of Illinois that we declare the month of August of 2022 as Moorish American Awareness Month to further the awareness of Moorish Americans and the Moorish Science Temple of America, HR 0930. The state of Illinois could honor the Moors, and they're a private European colonial corporation, then the significance of racial consciousness to anti-racist resistance by the Moorish Science Temple and the Moorish Americans is a real thing. It's actually something that our people should be considering if the Black Muslim Forum is going to be repping for it. Black Muslim Forum is recognizing that Moorish Science Temple plays a part. And when we say Moorish Science Temple, we mean Moorish nation, we mean the idea of you have a nationality, you're not Negro, black, colored, and all that stuff. Don't worry about stuff says Allah and Islam and all that. It says Jesus, and you're getting twisted. Right? Religious corporations don't fly national flags. They have their corporate flag. City of whatever, they have their corporate flag, don't they? Right? And that's what they fly. Anywhere they go, that's what they're not using the national flag for that. That's not Moorish Science Temple. Moorish Science Temple is flying a national flag. Or the temple or a national flag. It doesn't have something to do with a nation. But again, because of your own, this became religious. If somebody is looking at this, and the first thing that comes to their mind, oh, this must be something religious. They have some screws loose or something. They're a few sandwiches short of a picnic basket. Oh, remember, this is above Rahm Emanuel, because Rahm Emanuel, that's just the mayor. That's just the city. It's a state now. Rahm Emanuel is, that's for the teething people. That's where the teether is. This is a state. This is U.S. corpse telling these people that you better be aware of the Moorish Americans. And then they step back behind the curtain and you do whatever it is that you want. Just like that. Barack didn't do nothing for the black man. He never did anything. Well, you sign UN drip for you niggers to proclaim your nationality. And they just went back behind the curtain. Will be this president. Can't say that he didn't endorse UN drip for all these people in the Americas playing nigger games under different slave brands. They could declare their nationality that they're Moors because of Barack Obama. Because he signed UN drip when none of these other European colonial they shit and wipe their ass with the UN drip. They think they could keep bombing Hawaii and doing stuff like that with hurricanes. Keep bombing places with hurricanes. Forest fire. Forest fire from a hurricane? Really? Forest fire from a hurricane. And then they test how dunce the people are. How dunce are they? They're gonna fall for this? How much games were on this weekend? How much stuff's going on? A lot of people are pulling bodies out of the ocean. Ali told you. But see, I was thinking about that too, about the laser, but the laser would have to be a freaking steady stream. Like the laser's not going to be just and everything's in flames. Like, no way. That laser had to be like, and somebody would have seen that stuff. With all these phones and all that stuff, somebody would have seen that. They don't know how to make the laser invisible yet. I know that. I know they can't hide the laser. But then I was telling these other Moors that I don't know, it's because everything, once it's on the screen, the stuff is CGI. I don't know what's going on. Unless I see the stuff, I don't know what's going on. I have to go by, I see it now. If I don't see it, it's just, it is what it is, whatever. Yeah. And I really think it was that, a natural occurrence. Some created stuff. It's crazy. Where it's at. Honest to all the Moors worldwide. We've been asking Moors to go back through this convention picture and look through it and see if you see people who you know. See faces that you might have seen before or something, because it's crazy. We're finding Moors. We're finding Moors right now in this thing. And it's been crazy. Crazy. The Moors are finding people in there. And this looks like somebody right now. So we know we're here to do what we've been supposed to do. So honors to you for staying true to the cause, standing in defense of your prophet, in defense of your temple, your temples, standing for your nation. Honors to you, not being a sellout traitor. Honors to you for learning the truth about your nationality and your birthrights. Honors. Wouldn't be here without you. Honors to all you Moors, staying loyal and faithful. Peace and love to all the Moors in the chat. Honors to all the mothers worldwide. Peace and love, Moors. Islam.
Your era is not ours. Ceremony masters, Moorish Quran. I won't root for masters. Knowledge from the MSTA National College. 4 quadrants and elements. What's the relevance? 4 is also directions. Mundane cross. If you want a solid foundation, build on all 4s. Constant building when Moors are on the square. Tetraphobia is seeing 4s and being scared. At Earth's 4 corners are all the forecasts. Warriors, merchants, and high priests forecast. Servants and laborers do what is ordered. Inquisition know about 4, they draw and quartered. 4 letters in Jehovah and Yahweh, possibly quatrain. 4-line poems of prophecy. I chain 4th choir, youth on cultivation. Energy of 4, mystic realm, divination. You need 4 eyes to keep watch on enemies. Seeing 4 is universe peeking through energies. 4 means focus, be prepared on your path. Life path 4s are the ones that won't turn backs. Plus meticulous execution of projects and plans. Professor Drew Ali, Egyptian adept, the man. 4 energy, 13, 22, and 31. 4 derives its energy from tone and vibration.
Came through to activate the Lamb of God. Generate, operate, destroy your mob. The crown chakra 7 inches, 4 gates on the top. Listen up, pay attention. Time to end the deadlock. Red lock, headshot. We do it like the giants in the book of Enoch. That's big, so notorious, but I ain't flexing choppers. Really tapping into my medulla oblongata, showstopper. Cut the circus act, the prophet pulled the curtains back. The way I bring the hammer down, they say the earth is flat. Stepping through the pillars, Joaquin and Boaz. Solomon simple, young spiritual nomad. Coming off the temple, 7 hermetic principles. This is alchemy, transmutate when they challenge me. Leave them shocked, no Palpatine. Sever heads if you doubting me.
4 paths in the circumference, 7s in the circle, only nobles in my circle. Weaving through traffic, we ain't operating commercial. Surgical, these dispositions cause vertigo. It's that soul tint flow, the elo within, and vertigo. The eye of Allah, sapphire, I'm resurrecting the empire. No partial, the entire, I'm here to admit fire. Flammable, they ramble, bro, we talk with precision. Focused on the mission, yeah, binocular vision. I'm seeing through the eyes of a prism. You don't open your mind, you'll be in prison. Victim to your own stagnation. Venus flags waving. Stone, no cavemen. I broke it down layman. Yeah, basics. The team I support like training wheels and braces. Ooh.
It never occurs to man having too much earthly drenches the world in blood, soul becomes unworthy, even though it's perfect. In the body of a fool, you better use the carpenter's tools, no opinions but truths. Get out the feudal mind state, Slavic and stateless. Don't wanna be a mob but wearing Masonic aprons. Call yourself shades, colors, and land masses. Kicking you niggas' asses to put on nationality glasses. Big mad in the store, seeing the massless. Haters need exemptions, witness or they ass kiss. One of the best Moorish MCs talking about practice. The way we pull up references, mind callous, I'm balanced. Meditate on social media detox. Study secrets of righteous. Moorish Enochs, Canaanland Khalifa. L-bomb, hip-hop, epoch. Feudal-minded are the dips that we Elodio D-block. No verses, rituals, scratch the surface. Put reverses on the feudal mental slave curses. Freedom is a must. Free national standards. Even NBA players are anti-vaxxers. Common sense is only common with the few. Claim a slave name, Negro, learn to make do. Playing the corporate game when we were free in Peru. Y'all been brainwashed, waiting on the Biru. Why y'all loving the fake juice? My tang is woo. Stab vamps with the pointed cross before his fang is through. Get stabbed like ice, shot like a corkscrew. Alone you're minded, never civil lit or mortus.
A picture worth 1,000 words. I paint pictorials with these nouns and verbs. My appetite is hard to curb, customs I preserve. You got an empress in your corner, y'all from the curb. To get your mind blown out, just send a word. I orate and captivate, oh, you ain't heard? To look forward, you gotta rewind it. Unrestricted thoughts, I'm melodious-minded. Harmonious vibe whenever I chime in. You listening to the X Factor like Simon. I dived in the waters and didn't make a ripple. They thought it was sweet, like honeysuckle. Now Negroes running to me when they in a pickle. But when I tried to put them on, they was acting fickle. When I baptize, it's a flood, not a drizzle. Canaanland to Khalifa, we gon' make them shrimp.
I was doing time in the universal mind, but the universe is mind. Blowing through wind chimes, penned in thin lines, sent to bend time in rhyme from here to midnight. Then I'm off to the next plane she chooses to send me to master this pen game. Somebody is sensei, I'm your idol, the highest title, numero uno. Holder in due course, your mortgage is fool's gold. Truth told with your dead pledge, I'm wiping my culo. I'm the title and the deed, held in high esteem, neither serf nor a thief. So don't try it with me, your cognitive dissidents, fraudulent instruments, a hit or miss, to keep your mitts off of my hereditament. Minded, you've been blinded, searching for the donus gifts, you won't find it. They stray misguided, while I stay the livest. Synchronized in perfect stat, time after time, averting certain death before you leave. Must relieve karmic debt which beget this war within us. Or C-Tech best, dust off records, our forebearers left. Put the needle to the groove, return to their mindset. Download begins, rewind cassette. Time is death, so then kill your clocks. This the will of Allah, filling you all to the rim and then some till it spills and it falls over all facets of the masses. Transactions composed in maxims, revising your cannons. Drove past heaven, it was littered with abandoned mansions where adverse possessed like 5 or 6. Gave them back their addresses, I got family moving in. Forget the madness, let the reversion begin.
True Ali the mastermind, other leaders asinine. Never dropping facts, use emotions to pass the time. Never make it on my shrine, kundalini up the spine. Halo glow to aftershock, make you see the sign of times. Beeline to bloodline, Aquarian age flood mines. Rhyme like a plumb line, sometimes it's bun time. Rock mid-range deadly, all around the foul line. Playback on front line, Moorish is my guideline. Step and cause a fog line, throw your service offline. Watch them get outshine, cross me like a state line, get cut like a break line. FU and your concubine, strangle with a fishing line. When I help it's genuine, always from the heart, all chakras are intertwined. Self you must redefine, more from the civil line, not the clandestine. Stake a vamp at chest line, sun stay stationary, shadow left behind. Say you don't want to, not that you have no sound. See good in everything and how you must train the mind. Give out some love and find peace sublime. Water and the key lime keeps the body alkaline. Law should remain divine, not too much maritime. Get all 13 journals of the Moorish paradigm. Israelites from Sarah line, my path is the narrow line. Thought you had the upper hand, I saw it like a tarot line.
I'm painting with the big pen, game sick. Unity about as crucial as game 6 of the finals. I'm glowing like I won the title, but Ellen Beta noble title. idols. Don't worship humans, that's a false idol. Heavenly vibe coming from my recital. Middle fingers to connivers and instigators. The truth to revive you like the liberators. So this a pump to the chest. Utilize when youthful and throw away the rest. My vegan ways will put the beef to rest. My calling got directed like receptionist. So think mother every time you see a crest. The Moors is here to put that bullshit to rest. So think mother every time you see a crest. The Moors is here to bring that bullshit to rest.
When I step in the center, they can tell I'm a winner, live my life right. Thank God log, I'm not a sinner, live my life like I'm passing through time. Disastrous crimes, you killing up my people, I'm asking your back is why. You feeling the energy rise, because we open the eyes, we see the open skies and all them cop picking lies. That's how I battle enemies, I be using my energy, I move like a centipede, in the mirror see tending me. Pay attention to tendencies, trying to mess up the chemistry. We can be one big family, I do it for the nation, how many gon' stand with me? I got the profit up front and you're mad at me. Can't love a man that look like you, but it's sad to see. I'm just acting like the children watching and it has to be. Nationality got me feeling like a dad to be. Grass sheep provide the beat and I just had to bring the heat. Khalifa society, Canaanland Moors, Moorish connection, rise of the Moors, 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 Moors.
This is what it feels like. 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 People running up to me that I don't know. Are you a prince? They ask. Tell them I'm from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water. Watch their lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts, with most they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where? The farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in their wallets, pull out pictures with feathers, breaking down the ring, then the mason confesses. He's at 33 degrees, now the convo stretches like yoga into esoteric metaphysic lessons. When my people aren't like me, he impresses. When we take Moorish science to the highways and hedges. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
They tried to get you to think again. That's the profit. I'm upright, don't need a friend. And you can't stop this. I'ma write with my pen. Violate me and I'ma sentence again. Remain cautious, cause often it's in again. That's in the police out, just the silence men. When they bust through your door, you won't breathe again. Nationality will show you how to live again. It can change the predicament you're living in. You can heal the whole world without medicine. Only truth can make you a better man. Why lie? Cause you got paid to murder men. Then you try to lock them up when they riot in. That's okay, cause for freedom I'm diving in. With no knowledge you come back to die again. Resurrect me not, cause I'd rather be one with Allah.
This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
And of course, everybody knows that Rajah, came through this past week, and gave his support, etc. We had Moors that come from all across the country, from the Pacific area, from the southern area, and from the north area, over to the House of Reawakening Minds and Canaanland, and we all shared and interfaced the Pacific area, from the southern area, and from the north area, over to the House of Reawakening Minds and Canaanland, from the Pacific area, from the southern area and from the north area over to the House of Reawakening Minds and Canaanland, from the Pacific area, from the southern area and from the north area over to the House of Reawakening Minds and Canaanland. And we all shared and interfaced, shared information, and a lot of both specific and from the Pacific area, from the southern area, and from the north area over to the House of Reawakening Minds and Canaanland.
So, 2008, when we got our charter to be Moorish Science Temple of America, Moorish Divine National Movement, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Moorish Nation, at Canaanland, 2008, the Moors said that anything, since you're the first one to do anything Moorish in Canaanland, since you're the first one, everything should come through you. I don't care what it is. Anything dealing with Moors should come through your temple. Okay, that's an interesting concept. That's an interesting concept. You know, since we're the first, like why shouldn't everything come through us? Anything relative to Moors. We're at 2023 now, and since 2008, many Moors had left the foundation, which is us. First people to ever even mention Canaanland. Nobody was talking about Canaanland before we started saying we're Canaanland and calling so-called Canada Canaanland. No one. The only people were the slaves talking about up here's Canaan. They're leaving slavery to go home to Canaan. And we did the Moorish lecture with Dr. Alim Bey when we brought him here. And we talked about why did the slaves follow the North Star. Go look it up on YouTube. With Dr. Alim Bey here. Opening for Dr. Alim Bey here. So, when we hear Dr. G jump up and mention Canaanland, that's because of us. That's not because she knows somebody, because that's not us she's talking about when she says Canaanland. Guarantee that's not us she's talking about when she says Canaanland. So we really want to know who these Canaanland people are that she's talking about, shouting them out and all that stuff, and we don't know who these people are. Who are these traitors? Who are these sellouts that are part of something else, but they're not part of the foundation of anything Canaanland out here? They're not part of this, and they're saying they're repping for Moors? Yeah, right. They're probably a sellout traitor that was part of our temple and left because they were a punk. Because they didn't want to be disciplined. They didn't want to do the stuff that they shouldn't be doing. They want to keep doing the nigger stuff with a fez on. No, Cujo's mean and we can't go to him because he's intimidating and all this BS. I know Moors all over the fucking world. All over the world, I know Moors. I know Moors everywhere in the world. I know Moors in jail doing life. I know Moors who right now, they're studying whatever they're studying so they could defend themselves in whatever it is that they're dealing with. They don't need no consular general. They don't need no grand sheik to talk for them. Because if there are more, they present themselves because they can't be represented. We know Moors who've been had their own plates 15 years to date. Still got their own plates, never got pulled over ever once. Like, this is the foundation. This is the foundation. You ain't talking about Moors and mentioning so-called Canada and not mentioning Moor Science Temple number 5, Canada, Toronto, Ontario, whatever. If they're telling you we're Moors, you ever been a member of Temple number 5? Bet you they say yes. Oh, how come you're not a member no more? It doesn't even matter. The fact that they're not a member proves that they're a sellout and a traitor, and they have no allegiance. Because people take it for a joke that we put in work because, you know, look at master teachers, they get treated like a bitch or whatever. And then they just keep taking treatment, bitch treatment from people. Right? Taking effed up treatment from people. Just because they want to be about some unity. But they're traitors around them. Just like Drew Ali had traitors around him. And he realized certain people are traitors. Right-hand man and woman is the traitor. Is the one that's going to sell you out. Who the F is Ras Bay? The only Ras Bay everybody knows is rvbaypublications.com. That's the only Ras Bay there is. Ain't nobody else. Whether it's R-A-S, R-A-H-S, it doesn't matter. Once you hear Ras Bay, that's rvbaypublications.com. Who's this guy? Who is this guy? Who's this fake Fez guy? With a feather on the side, not the front. Who is this guy? Who's vouching for these people right here? Oh, master teacher vouched for him because he knows him from something? Oh, yeah? Interesting. Interesting. You want to play listen to the master teacher? Okay, let's play listen to the master teacher. Let's play listen to the master teacher since people want to play games. Let's play listen to the master teacher.
What it is to be a part of a coalition, and just, you know, you could do your self-teaching and just go through some of the terms that you may see on it. But I just took a few of them, and I just want to, you know, read them out so we kind of have a grasp or understanding what the intricate parts are. Just give me a second. Okay, so what is a coalition? A coalition is a form when two or more people or groups temporarily work together to achieve a common goal. The term is most frequently used to denote formations of power in political and or economic spaces. And these are key things because if we, you know, studying the prophet states that, you know, about the finances that's ever needed so badly, so the nation could be, you know, blissful and well where it needs to be. So it's hand in hand. So, you know, that's just a formal. So let's talk about what is the roles of coalition. A coalition is an organization of diverse interest groups that join their human and material resources to produce specific changes that are unable to be delivered as independent individuals or separate organizations. I'm just going to repeat that one again and repeat the audience because, you know, if we look...
They repeat nothing. Stop the BS. Moors always look up stuff at law. Why they look it up at law? Why they playing games or whatever with you? When you look it up at law, a coalition is an unlawful agreement among several persons not to do a thing except on some conditions agreed upon. Particularly industrial combinations, strikes, etc. A conspiracy. This is what coalition is. You sit there, let people play games with you. They tell you go research. You're not researching. You just listen to what people are telling you. Like you're dumb. Just because the master teacher's sitting there, he's not saying anything. Just because he's sitting there not saying anything, you're gonna play dumb. You're gonna play dumb? Go look up coalition in your Black's law. It's unlawful. Why are Moors doing unlawful things? I want to know how come we can't get stuff together. You want to form coalition? They ain't forming no coalition. It's a conspiracy. A combination or confederacy between two or more persons, or you could say two or more corporations, two or more entities, two or more whatever, because persons doesn't mean human beings. Stop the BS. Formed for the purpose of committing by their joint efforts some unlawful criminal act. What unlawful criminal act are these people? They're impersonating officers, because none of these people are grand whatever or vizier or whatever the hell it is that they claim that they are. They're not that. These 3/4 of these people are incompetent. They don't even have, they're living in their mom's basement talking about they're the grand vizier of something. It ain't going down like that. That's not how it runs. If we're saying that we're the Moorish whatever, if we're the Moorish, whatever you want to call it, combination of confederacy between two or more, whatever like that, why don't we just go back to what Drew Ali said and stop trying to make up stuff? Do you know the coalition is the same thing as the consulate? You know that's consulate with a new name because the consulate played out. Because people who try to play consulate with the badge and all that stuff, they got kidnapped. Ain't nobody heard from them in about a year. Anybody know what's going on with their stuff? Now, all that consulate BS. You see how quick they stopped talking about consulate on House of Reawakening Minds? You don't realize they don't talk about consulate anymore? How come they stopped talking about consulate? When the consulate general guy was out here, they were every week they're talking about consulate. Every week. Then they did the same BS, had them up there with Taj up there, and then people, because they're dumb, they're gonna see, oh, Taj is there. Oh, so that means this guy must be credible or whatever. Oh yeah. How you figure that? How you figure that? They're only playing you. You dummies who don't study and all that stuff and get caught up in BS, giving people $3,000 out your hard-earned finance to go join some public BS. Before you take that $3,000 free to your children, they haven't eaten in weeks. The hell are you doing? You mean you're buying a package to make your children not eat because of Moorish. But we shouldn't be paying for the food because it's our sovereign right to eat and talking BS. People been playing you. You don't even think anymore. You're just a big dummy. You're just a big dummy. They're not even thinking. But don't worry. We got some slaps for you. We got some slaps for you. Since you want to listen to master teacher and you want to play games? Okay, let's play. Let's play games. Let's play games.
Open with regards to some of the things that are taking place. But in the meantime, what advice do you have for those who are listening to that they can do in place? In other words, where they are, where can they start? How can they start? You know, my thing is start with yourself, but where beyond the self
interjection?
Yeah.
Interjection, because basically I know this weekend, and Roz knows this weekend was actually Majlis.
Yes.
So we want, which is Parliament.
Yes.
Right, and so we want to get to the Great Council, which is Dalal Aziz.
Yes.
That's the Great Council. That's what we're seeking. But we need for them, you know, once they open up, they need not reinvent the wheel. We have what they need for a structure. The issue, what we lack is will. Council. That's what we're seeking. But we need for them, you know, once they open up, they need not reinvent the wheel. We have what they need for a structure. The issue, what we lack is will.
Yes.
You know, and what we want not to do is have people waste time trying to figure out organized government. It already existed. They weren't trying to figure out organized government. It already existed. They waste time trying to figure out organized government. It already existed. The issue, what we lack is will.
Yes.
You know, and what we want not to do is have people waste time trying to figure out organized government. It already existed. They weren't being taught civics. Now, even though, you know, we teach civics, etc., for the most part, we don't go into the section and rudder because the people don't even have the basics. And then you have people and detractors, you know, and what we want not to do is have people waste time trying to figure out organized government. It already existed. It
already existed. So that means the consulate stuff, all that stuff was BS because it already existed. The Res Republica, whatever people are doing, that's BS. The Moorish American consulate of the whatever is BS. Everything is BS because the government structure has already existed for the Moors. Why they keep recreating the wheel with a different name? And it's not even them. It's your dumbass buying a wheel under a different name when you got the house full of wheels and you still buying wheels again? You don't realize there's wheels in the fridge, wheels in the cupboard, wheels are under the... You don't realize that there's an issue here? Now you keep buying wheels. Yeah, well, you know, the leader over there said that people are playing you. Master teacher telling them to their face.
They weren't being taught civics. Now, even though, you know, we teach civics, etc., for the most part, we don't go into the section and rudder because the people don't even have the basics. And
that's why before you go do anything, you're supposed to go to Canaanland Moors and go watch Back to Basics. If you could last through those 30 classes, 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours, you go last through that, then you're ready to start studying and say you're a Moor and all that stuff. If you can't get through them 3 little 30 classes right there, don't waste your time with this. Go be nigger or something. Don't waste your time. Please, because you're only playing yourself, wasting time. Don't waste your time. Right? This isn't for you. This is for the long haul, people. This is for the long haul. This is for the people who aren't looking at it for now. You're not looking at it for now to get some benefit now. People want the quick fix because they know that the system's done. Everyone knows the system's done, but nobody wants to do what's necessary. Well, I'm willing to do this, and I'm willing to do that, and I'm willing to do this, and I'm gonna. What's your nationality? So you're Moor, so what are we talking about? Shouldn't you already be doing stuff? Because if you're a Moor, then that means you're active. And if you're active, that means certain things are being exercised. That's government. Handling your affairs. Well, these Moors did that, those Moors did that, so we handled it this way because this is our body. You're Moors. Your customs and your laws and all that stuff, that's on you.
Then you have people and detractors, constantly beating the people and trying to keep them down, and we keep having to redundantly reiterate certain concepts, leaning on their morals to use their reasoning mind. Constantly beating the people and trying to keep them down, and we keep having to redundantly reiterate certain concepts, leaning on their morals to use their reasoning mind. But
right? Leaning on them. That's why things are so exaggerated when you get on here. Because Drew Ali made the statement like, what you want me to do? Kill you? Like what else are you off the rocker? Like what is going on? Why aren't you getting these basic concepts? Basic things. You're not black. This is basic. We're brown people. This is really basic. We aren't black people. We are brown people. That's just what it is. There's nothing to debate. If you know your colors, clearly we're shades of brown. This is not some calculus or something. Basic. But that's how we know that our people are asleep. So if they're that asleep that they don't get those basic concepts, don't be telling me about some government, because we need everybody to have the government. And if there's some people playing that they're Negro, black, colored, then we're never gonna have government. Not because the Moors don't want to have government, but because half the government sleep. So you have to realize that this is for the long haul. This is for the building collapsed and we're pulling people out one by one. They're alive, they're in there, they're yelling or whatever. But a building fell on them. So to retrieve these people, it's not happening how you think. You're just going to go out there, blow the whistle, and people are going to come running or something like that. No, these people are asleep. So it's only going to be the ones who are competent that are going to get anything done. But then you have situations where, incompetent people think that they can unite with competent people, and then they cause more confusion than if they would have just shut the hell up. Because it's all a popularity grab at this point, because everybody knows that it's about views. And everybody knows Taj has the most views. Of a teaching Moor, anybody have more views than Taj? No one. Everyone heard about him in the conscious whatever. They know Taj Street Bay. The majority of them can't handle the truth. That's why they don't deal with the Moorish paradigm. So this isn't for them. The ones who stuck it out. The ones who could be right now saying F watching Taj on Dr. G. There's too much Taj out there that I need to watch this version of Taj versus 10, 15, 20 years ago Taj. Who's saying the same stuff that he's saying right now. Same thing. The redundant stuff and all that he's talking about, the frustrating part about it. Oh. Let's give you a reminder. You must have forgot. You must have forgot.
Well, don't they understand? How often now this is back to us being redundant, right? Let's go over what we talked about before. And this is a synopsis. And we're talking about the letter that the Pope wrote to Obama, which is
and remember, this is when they were playing the podcast thing, and then they have him with the mic there and all that stuff, and then they realize that that's some BS because it's not natural. It's an orchestrated thing. And Taj is not orchestrated. He's a natural. You don't need any bells and whistles to make the lecture be good. Just shut the hell up. That's all you need to do. You don't got to do anything. Right? But I didn't work. That's why now they're doing the... Right? It's a game. Using the master teacher because they know they can. And he's not going to tell them, hey, stop using me or whatever. He's not going to say that. Because he knows he's going to sacrifice himself and his life to get this information out. And nothing else matters about getting this information out. He doesn't care what's going on. But, you know, we're Moors with our eyes wide open, seeing and knowing. And before carrying out Drew Ali's law and all that stuff, we have to clean up some BS. Because we realize that there's BS. We realize that there's a game that's being played. You know there's a game being played? Right? Master teacher telling them to their face, and they can't even accept it still. Still. That's why the Dr. G Taj, it's snippets. It's not the whole 2 hours, 3 hours that they're up there. Now you're getting played. Because you don't know about the Cane Road Taj. You don't know about those ones. You don't know about the Taj at the lecture with 200 people in there. At the university. You don't know about those ones. All you know is these pop-up BS that these people are doing with you. Where you're not getting the right information because it's truth and falsehood strangely mixed. Because half of these people, they don't care about liberating the people. All they're about is causing confusion. And they're going to use any means that they can to keep the confusion going. Remember, the stuff is over. Right? Yeah, you have a baseball hat, Taj. You think that you're getting something. No. What the black fez, Taj? What about those ones? What about the Taj with the indigenous fez, Taj? What about those ones? You want those? They've been playing you. And majority of people are in on it. Because they know it's a popularity contest. Whoever can get the most views, that's where it's at. So what the hell? Of course, if you have the master teacher up there, you're going to get the most views. Automatic. Automatic.
But again, like we all know, the Dark Priesthood are accelerating their genocide operations, which deals on multiple levels. It's always later. And we don't have, what you say, the comfort level of casuality that we have gotten used to. Even conscious people have gotten used to being casual. But the deal of it is, this is again why we've always tried to tell people years ahead different things that were on the plate of the agenda of Unum Sanctum to forewarn them. So that, you know, because most of, again, everything we've said, we've been telling people for 30, 40 years. It's just that it seems new to them for some people, only because they're finally beginning to listen. Not the plate of the agenda of Unum Sanctum to forewarn them. So that, you know, because most of, again, everything we've said, we've been telling people for 30, 40 years. It's just that it seems new to them for some people, only because they're finally beginning to listen. So that, you know, because most of, again, everything we've said, we've been telling people for 30, 40 years. It's just that it seems new. So that, you know, because most of, again, everything we've said, we've been telling people for 30, 40 years. You know, because most of, again, everything we've said, we've been telling people for 30, 40 years. It's just that it seems new to them for some people, only because they're finally beginning to listen. Not because we haven't said it. And we're repeating certain things for those who have the younger who are coming up, and those who weren't listening because they're, you know, because most of, again, everything we've said, we've been telling people for 30, 40 years. It's just that it seems new to them for some people only because they're finally beginning to listen, not because we haven't said it. And we're repeating certain things for those who have the younger who are coming up, and those who weren't listening because they were caught up in their emotional agendas, which is not theirs, but was part of the MK Ultra mental engineering design of animal husbandry. So those who have the younger who are coming up, and those who weren't listening because they were caught up in their emotional agendas, which is not theirs, but was part of the MK Ultra mental engineering design of animal husbandry. And so we're forgiving them because we know they've been under mind control. They don't know they have been. But this is again why it's important for people and brothers and sisters like the Kazi, you know, or Ras, who you know, we know that it was modulus, but we already know we aren't going to bring that up because people get diverted. Then they want to talk for 2 hours on things that they're not grounded in. So we had modulus this week. But we know that if we just say that, then people get defensive and they close down. So we let everything just happen. Let it be casual.
I mean, I'm gonna put this up.
Yield the floor.
There's a bunch of different comments, but I'm just gonna put this one up for instance. Katie Bay says, why do we need why do we need a coalition when we clearly have a divine and national movement?
Because the divine and national movement is a coalition. It's already done.
So if it's already done, then we don't need to bring up coalitions and all that stuff. We just need to be Moorish Divine and National Movement then, right? Isn't that logical? If it's already done and Moorish Divine and National Movement is the coalition, then we don't need to bring up coalition. We don't have to bring up starting a coalition. Why are we starting a coalition if we have Moorish Divine and National Movement?
The people have not exercised it. They have not activated it. Let's look at this. And what do we talk about for years, even in the Order of the Great Seal? What do we have in the province literature? The Moorish Temple of Science was established and registered as a civic organization. Mm-hmm. And with the great sellout, ever since then, they've been telling the people that it was a religious organization.
Right. So it's civic, Moorish, anything. Moorish, I don't care what it is, it's civic and it's nature. As soon as somebody brings up more and you start talking about religions and all that and Allah and Islam and all that, you're way off. Shut the hell up. You're way off. You don't have the right to talk after you make an incompetent statement or you present no facts. You lose your opportunity to speak. Because you should know what you're talking about if you're a civilized human being. And if you think that they know what they're talking about, they don't know what they're talking about when they're talking about Moors. It's like these Moors at the pen. These Moors at the pen. They just got the okay that they could have some Moorish group or whatever, right? But it can't be something with a leader, and it can't be this and that, whatever like that. So, okay, we're going to have a study group in a library so that inmates who come to jail, they would have access to Moorish stuff, right? Now, the Moor is a member of the temple. So because he's a member of the temple, he's just doing his Moorish obligation based on his situation and where he's at. He's not mad that he's in there or anything like that. He knows why he's in there. But he's not letting Moorish go because he's in there. They're talking about trying to change the whole thing. Just like they have a Muslim whatever, just like they have a Rasta whatever, just like they have a Jewish whatever, there needs to be a Moorish whatever in the prison. So this is an inmate talking. So if an inmate could see that this is civic, if an inmate could see this, nowhere to go but in and out of cell. On it like that, then people are playing games out here. People are definitely playing games. You see your games, it's okay. Let's have one more slap from the master teacher for you. We know you like to listen to the master. I know you're going to hear what Taj says before you listen to anything else. Okay, fine.
Territories internationally recognized. So it was just, going through the international and looking at comparative to the domestic and trying to find a balance in between the two. I think that's what happens sometimes when you get compound with information. Our people tend to want to choose sides.
With all of us. And back to in harmony with what you're saying, why, we already know the long-standing, what we would call scholarship violation that has been practiced among us that must be eliminated. And that is where people have taken on titles and have produced no literature, which in harmony with what you're saying, why, we already know the long-standing, what we would call scholarship violation that has been practiced among us that must be eliminated. And that is where people have taken on titles and have produced no literature, which is in violation of scholarship, ancient and modern. Anyone who has a title that represents, i.e. nationhood, tribehood, guruship, etc., wazirship, if they have any title of authority and have not produced literature that's available to the general public for cross-examination and critique, then they are fraud. But i.e. nationhood, tribehood, guruship, etc., wazirship, if they have any title of authority and have not produced literature that's available to the general public for cross-examination and critique, then they are fraud. But our people don't know that because they haven't been taught civics. Now, back to the issue of law and history going together. And this is back to where the prophet, Noble Drawley, commanded that every temple must have a school. And of course, you already know, yes, and he talked about, our people being trained to jump through hoops. And so the fundamentals of law, chronology, and jurisprudence not being taught to our people is why this conflict that we're discussing at the moment exists. It's sort of like any other engineering. You have to, from an engineering point of view,
right? So because he's calling himself Raz Bey, he's jacking the energy of being a publication to fly by the people's radar of what Master Teacher just said. That if you have any title, you're supposed to have books, plural. You're supposed to have books if you have a title. That's been critiqued by peers and all that. I never heard Ras Bey ever. ever in my life. Never seen this Moor, ever. I know Moors. I haven't seen this Moor ever. Just like when Shayla Moore popped up, I never saw that Moor ever. Who is this Moor? Where does Moor come from? And then like a thief in the night, disappeared. Stole all your finance, gave all your paperwork to the FBI, did all types of madness. Did all types of madness. It's a cold world. It's a cold world. Be careful out here. These people are using master teachers for fame. Be careful. Don't get caught up. It happened already. This is deja vu. This is the black cat walked by twice. We've seen this one before. We've seen this one before. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Peace and love to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to the master teachers. All the master teachers who put in work for us to be where we're at today for nothing. Honors to them. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and all the Moors in the chat. Honors. Peace and love to all the Moors. Oh yeah, and we have a special presentation. Special presentation. Canaanland Moors YouTube. 5 p.m. Should be interesting. Happy Moorish American month to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to all the mothers. Honors to all the faithful Moors. Islam.